Hello, my name is Kyrill Farbmann. I'm Compliance Director at McDonald's, based in Brussels, Belgium. I'm a lawyer in the area of corporate crime and corporate fight against corruption. I will be talking about unconventional ways to combat corruption. I was born in Russia. For many years, Russia and other Soviet Union countries are fighting corruption, fighting and fighting and fighting, but the level of corruption does not go down. In the Transparency International Corruption Perception Index for 2019, you can see Russia among countries which are in red, among the most corrupt countries. Russia is on place 137 out of 198. Uganda has also placed 137. But some other Soviet Union countries are even worse. Tajikistan and Uzbekistan are number 153, and Turkmenistan is place 165, one of the most corrupt countries in the world. Did the former Soviet Union countries use the usual ways to combat corruption? Yes. Most of these countries have amazing anti-corruption legislation, great enforcement agencies, money is being spent on fighting corruption, but the level of corruption doesn't go down, and in some countries it even gets worse. Why? There is a multitude of reasons. I will not go into these reasons. They are well discussed. What is clear is that the usual ways to combat corruption seem not to work. It's time to think out of the box and find unusual ways to combat corruption. I collected 5 countries with the most unconventional ways to fight corruption. We will make a small journey through Belgium, Kazakhstan, Hong Kong, Russia, and China for the most unconventional and successful ways to combat corruption. First of all, let's go to my home country. As I told you, I live in Belgium. When you visit the beautiful city of Bruges, most of the tourists enter the town hall and see these 2 beautiful medieval paintings. They were created in 1488 by Dutch painter David Gerard. The painting is called The Judgment of Cambyses. Now, what does it have to do with fighting corruption? It's an ancient Greek legend about a corrupt judge in Persia. He accepted a bribe and delivered an unjust verdict. As a result, the king had him arrested and skinned him alive. That means his skin was slowly and painfully removed from his body. After that, his son was appointed as a judge, and the skin of the father was used to cover the seat in which his son would sit in judgment. The top right corner of the skinning scene features the son of the judge dispensing justice from his father's chair. The painting is meant to warn public officials what may happen if they take bribes and remind them of their obligations. Now, let's move from Belgium to Central Asia. In 2015, in Kazakhstan, a law has been enacted that rewards whistleblowers. If you report cases of bribery and help to uncover such cases, you get up to 10,000 US dollars. This reward directly depends on the bribe's appetites. The higher they are, the more money the whistleblower will receive. But if a person suddenly, for some reason, decides not to take money, and such cases also happen, then he will be thanked in another way. For example, he receives a letter of gratitude or a valuable gift. From Kazakhstan, we are moving to Hong Kong. While in most countries the leading standard of criminal law is the presumption of innocence, in Hong Kong there is a presumption of corruption. Until 40 years ago, corruption in Hong Kong was considered commonplace. Around 90% of civil servants were corrupt. In 1974, a governmental institution called the Independent Commission Against Corruption was organized. Employees and officers with very high salaries were hired. They reported personally to the governor. What did they introduce? All government officials in Hong Kong had to prove that their properties were acquired legally. If they did not succeed, they faced arrest and confiscation of property. Also, a large role in the fight against corruption was played by citizens, who participated in the work of the Independent Commission through complaints, informing the authorities about cases of bribery. The result is obvious. In 2019, Hong Kong was ranked the 16th in the Transparency International's Corruption Perception Index. And now from Hong Kong, we're moving to Russia. In Russia, it's very prestigious to have a car with a number plate with repeating numbers or letters, like AAA or 111. And people pay bribes to obtain such number plates. The bribe for the most prestigious number plate can amount to 200,000 US dollars. The authorities decided to hang prestigious number plates on garbage trucks and cleaning vehicles. This lowered the prestige of such number plates and corruption in this area. My last examples are from China. China is a source of creative methods to fight corruption. A soap opera in the name of the people has been produced in China to show the government's victory in its anti-corruption campaign. There are 55 episodes about investigations against corrupted government officials. The soap opera starts with a dramatic opening scene. Police burst into a villa and uncovers huge stacks of cash stuffed into fridges, closets, beds. The villa's owner, a government official, crawls on the floor and begs for his life. Over 600 million viewers across the country were following this soap opera on television. And this soap opera is not the only way depicting corrupt officials. China's anti-corruption agency offers excursions to prisons for Chinese government officials and members of their families to see public officials in prison for taking bribes. Apparently, it's very impressive to say hello to a former colleague who is in prison for corruption offenses. Our virtual journey through countries fighting corruption in an unconventional way is over. I do not encourage you to follow the methods I was just talking about, especially, of course, not the skinning of corrupt government officials. I would like to encourage everyone to look for unconventional ways to fight corruption. Use theater, draw comics and cartoons. Even poetry or dance can be used against corruption. Use your favorite sport, score a goal against corruption. Use the power of technology to reach people. Social media in particular is an effective way to address corruption in real time. Create the ways that give people tools to engage and participate in their governments, to follow where the money goes and how money has been spent. Technical solutions can help people to document the cases of corruption. For example, reporting platforms on the web or mobile apps. And of course, don't pay bribes.